Or should that be the man bag? First, though, we brush shoulders with the famous. Actually, that's probably not quite how you describe Sally Kettle's meeting with perhaps the most prestigious inhabitant of St. Helena in the South Atlantic.
Plantation House, St. Helena, sits proud amid gumwood trees alive with chirps and whistles. It's the official residence of Mark Capes, Governor of the British Overseas Territories in the South Atlantic. Large brown hillocks dot the pristine lawns. It's only when my guide, Joe Hollis, the sole vet on the island, bangs on a large metal bowl that all becomes clear. The hillocks rise and trot surprisingly swiftly towards us. Meet Jonathan, Myrtle and Frederica, 3 of 5 giant tortoises who live on St. Helena. He's virtually blind from cataracts, has no sense of smell, but his hearing is good, Joe tells me. At 182, Jonathan may be the oldest living land creature. St. Helena was born as a violent volcano. Jamestown, its capital, became the centre of commerce for the East India Company in the 17th century. Many victims of the slave trade, sick and dying Africans, would spend their final hours on the shores of St. Helena. And then there was Napoleon in exile. Its inhabitants, known as the Saints, share this complex past and ethnic traits of Africans, Americans, Europeans and Chinese. Nobody knows why Jonathan ended up in St. Helena. During the 17th century, ships could contain hundreds of easily stacked tortoises like a fast food takeaway. How did Jonathan avoid this fate? Maybe he became a curio for Hudson Yanisk, governor in the 1880s. 33 governors have come and gone since then, and nobody wants Jonathan to die on their watch. A photograph taken in 1882 shows Jonathan at his full size, and it can take 50 years to reach that physical maturity. The years since haven't always been kind. Tourists would often do whatever it took to get that photo. Now a viewing corridor runs along the bottom of the lawn to keep overzealous sightseers at bay. Jonathan loves having his neck stroked. His head extends out from his shell to a surprising length. He snaps for his food, bananas, cabbage and carrots, with some ferocity. Tortoises scrape at the grass with their horny beaks, made from keratin, like nails. Blindness made it hard for Jonathan to find the right vegetation, and due to malnutrition, Jonathan's beak became blunt and soft, adding to his problems finding food. Now there's a new feeding regime in place where Joe delivers a bucket of fresh fruit and vegetables every Sunday morning. With this extra nutritional boost, Jonathan's skin looks plump and feels supple. His beak has become a deadly weapon for anyone attempting to shove a carrot anywhere near his mouth. And can he belch? Tortoises may be slow, but they are noisy, especially when they mate. A noise like a loud, harsh escape of steam from a giant battered old kettle, often rounded off with a deep oboe-like grunt. Though giant tortoises like Jonathan can live up to 250 years, the community has already drafted a detailed plan for when he finally pops his shell. It's been dubbed Operation Go Slow. It will ensure all runs smoothly when the inevitable happens. In fact, his obituary has already been written. The Saints would like to raise funds for a life-size bronze statue of him, something to touch not for luck, but for longevity. Jonathan, when he goes, will be mourned by friends and admirers on St. Helena and around the world. But to me, Jonathan is also a symbol of a remote society, soldiering on in genuine isolation.
Sally Kettle in St. Helena.